Okay, welcome back to UtahYotas. We are going to be installing a PopLock in my 2020 Tacoma. As you can see, the advantages for this is I have have you seen some of my other videos? I have a shell on my truck, and you have to keep locking the tailgate with your key, and it drives me crazy. So I'm going to be putting this in. This is the short wire loom. This is the long wire loom. They gave you some zip ties. I'll probably need more zip ties. This is my zip tie tool that tightens it and cuts it. And they gave you some two wire splicers for up by the door. Here's the locking mechanism, and just a little tray for nuts and bolts. You need a 10mm ratcheting wrench, makes it easier for that one bolt you can't reach. And then we are going to be using the T30 and some scissors, 5/16 drill bit, and a drill. And then I have a little impact that I use. So I'm going to need some wire strippers and some pliers. So anyway, we'll get working on it. What you got to do is you got to remove all these off of here. So, get these out of here. Uh-oh, crap. I dropped one down in there, so don't do that. We'll get it out in a minute. This is the T30. Those are all the big-headed ones. These are small heads, so you have two different sizes. So just keep that in mind when you're doing it. I'm just going to put them off to one side and the others off to the other side. Okay, so then you just lift this up, it slides right out. So we're going to pop this up into the truck first. Got my screw that fell down in there. Now the next thing you got to do is take this 10mm off right here. So I'll go grab that and we'll get that taken off. Take this 10mm off right down in here. So this is going to be the tricky part, to put this back on. Once you, that's why you need the ratchet the ratcheting wrench. Now we got to pop this off here, and you can use a screwdriver for that. You got to get a needle nose for that. Pop that off. So get me a needle nose, and we'll get that out of the way. Pop this out of the way and just set it over here because it's attached to the other side. So this will get it out of the way. Now we got to put this locking mechanism in right here, and you're going to be putting the sticker side down, and then one of this upper hole goes into the very good. But down underneath here, when you stick this in, this is this black little piece of plastic that goes in the top one, and then underneath this whole assembly is is where you put this 10mm bolt back in, and you kind of have to start it with your hand, and it's kind of a pain, but that's why you need the 10-inch ratchet, so you can get that in there. You can see down in there, it's kind of a pain. You gotta get it going the right direction, I guess. Okay, that bad boy's in. Now we got to get the wire set up. Get me a screwdriver. So you got to push these little tabs over and then pop this out. And then pop this out. And then this thing here has a little tab on it that you push right there. I'm sure if you've done this before, you'll make it easier on yourself, but the little tab is on the back side. We'll just pop that up. Pull that out, because we're going to be drilling a hole in this in a second. Now you got to do this one here, and this one's going to be worse because you can't see nothing. Especially because I put this rubber on here for the keep the dust out. What you do is you got to drill a hole in this to put the wires through. I just want to make sure on the back so I don't screw anything up. So okay, so that's what it looks like. So you got to do the same thing to the other one. We'll do that real quick, and then we'll start running the wires. Okay, so you got to fish this one through the bedside, shove that down the hole and get that through there, and it'll come out kind of by the spare tire, but we'll shove that down in there, get that going, and then we got to take this other one and we're going to fish it through the line through here. So we're going to open this, and the way you do that is you got to push one end at a time. The second one's kind of a booger, but just kind of work with it. If it gets too tight, you can always put some Vaseline or something on it. So then we get this over here, and then let's see. Oh, I put it on wrong. Don't do that. Put it on backwards. So basically I got to take it back through. And so it's going to go in the truck like this. So I'm going to push the wire through this way, through the back. And all the way down here. Now you got to open this back up. Kind of gets stuck a little bit, so just stick a little flashlight, a little screwdriver in there. There we go. Now you got to come back down, bring it down here, and stick this around the wire loom. The factory wire loom that Toyota has, and this one will be the toughest because see that groove right there, shadow on there. Let's get the shadow out of there. Oh, I missed it goes. There we go. There we go. Right down there. Okay, now we're in. We'll put a zip tie around here and a zip tie around the other side. We'll get this wire ran in here and get it plugged into the so we're going to run the wire over here just so we have something to hook it up to and get it plugged in. And then you're going to plug the colors together just like they designed it, which is nice. Push that little plastic down in there. Push this little plastic down in here so you can see that better. Okay, so that's plugged in. We'll get our... Okay, so we had a little bit of a hard time getting that one back in there over here. And that was kind of tough because some of the slack of the cable went back down in. So just remember that you're going to need a little slack to get that to function. So the way this tool works, it's a great tool. You just reach it down in here, tighten it up, and then you clip it and it cuts. So you slide this in, tighten, and then cut. And then you don't get a bunch of, you know, crazy edges that kill you. So then we're going to put another one over here. I actually ran that around that. I don't want to do that. I don't want these sharp edges right here to hurt the cable, so we'll run that back here. And we'll put a zip tie right here. And get rid of that. I got lots of zip ties, so you can use as many zip ties as you want, but I got plenty. Okay, so now we'll hook that back up. And we'll get this piece over here hooked up. Don't forget to do that. Now this won't work. So we'll get this hooked up. Push that plastic piece over there, and then this has got to get, this is this little plastic piece that we pushed out. So that's all back hooked up the way it needs to be. Now we'll run the wires. We'll put it on pause for a minute, and we'll get some of the wires running. I'll show you where we go into the truck, the passenger side door, and then I'll show you where we go into that in a second. Okay, so we got the wire ran, and we ran it along the top here, all the way across the top, all the way down, followed the other wires that were there. And now what we need to do is we're going to come up through the floor, and so we're going to poke a little hole in this rubber right here. If I can. Let's see. Might have to get some scissors and cut a little hole in there, because I need to get my wire in there. So get my scissors and just snip a little hole right here. Okay, so now should have a little hole in there. So I kind of push this in. I don't want to have it in all the way, so get it back out where it was. Creates a nice little seal around there, so I don't want that in all the way. Then you just take the line. There's a lot of it, so you probably have to cut some off eventually, but we'll poke this up through the hole real quick, and then we'll go into the cab and show you where it pops out. You gotta pop this off, and so you can get to underneath the carpet. So you take this panel off here, and you're also going to need to take this panel off up here. Grab my flashlight. And this panel you just kind of push to the one side and it pops off. These clips that Toyota has aren't that great. These clips right here aren't that great. They're on a weird angle, and so they're hard to push in. And looks like the bottom ones come off, so I'll have to fix that. But anyway, you got to take this. There's a little clip in here. You can't see it because it's too dark in my shop. There we go, light. This little clip comes off, and then you can pull this out here like so. You can see that bottom clip came off, so I'll have to get my special tool I use to get those out so they don't break. And the wire that we're going to be getting into is right here, so I'll need to get my screwdriver and pull that out. But let's find the wire down here first so we can get it pulled up here. So get the flashlight down there so you can kind of see in there. And I got to get the wire up here. So I believe this is our wire right here. Just right under the thing there. We'll just pull this up. And once you get that pulled up, you want to make sure that when you back underneath, you want to make sure that your rubber down there is not goofy, because you want to keep the water and stuff out. So then what we'll do is we'll loosen these. I'll get my nice little I guess I don't need to do that one, but I'll do this one here. This one here came up. This one came out of its little hole down there, so I'll have to put that in. So I'll get this clip undone. Get this clip undone here. Try not to break those. And we'll run our wire up through here. Make it nice and neat. And clip that back down. Clip that back down. And we'll end up cutting some off because I don't want that much in there. We'll cut it off and then I'll get it wired in and we'll show you how that works. Okay, so you got to get this clip out right here next to the it's next to the door. And you push this clip in right here, and I just tug on it a little bit with my screwdriver and pull, and it pulled right out. Then you got to cut some of this back so that you can get to the wires and kind of push the wire. Once you get started, kind of push the wires out of the way so they don't cut. And I'm just going to leave it on there, but I'm going to kind of get down to it so I can get to the wires. And they say you got to use the green goes to the green, and then the blue goes to the red on the wire that they gave you. So green goes to green and blue goes to red. So I'll be splicing into those, and but I got to cut my wire down because it's too long. So we'll get spliced into those and get going on it. Okay, so you got to put these little splices on here, and they just snap over that. And then you got to slide your other one in there, and the green one's going in here. So you got to make sure it stays in there too when you pinch it, because if it doesn't stay in there, you're SOL. So you get it like this, and make sure that green is pushed all the way down in there. And you take your pliers and you pinch this here, and it cuts into the wire. You want to make sure it's flush. remember, green to green, and then blue to red. So now it's flush, so we'll click that over, and that part is done. And now we'll get the red one done. Okay, so we'll get the red in there. Get the blue one down in there. Make sure the blue one's all the way down in. Pinch that. Okay, so we got those two in there. They're all wired up. Now we'll test it before we finish it. Make sure everything's good. Gotta plug it in. So, and then we'll clean all this wire up after we're done. Okay, so I'm gonna lock it real quick and unlock it so you can see the mechanism work down in there. So now we'll shut it real quick, and it's unlocked. So we'll lock it. Now it's locked. So it was a success. Awesome. Thanks for watching, UtahYotas, putting in PopLock.